I don't even know how this is even gonna start off. I just want to talk about like life in 2026. And man, I gotta be honest. I just got done with one of my school things right now, and I'm just gonna say this: it fucking sucks, man. Like, so I'm just sitting here for the past 2 hours. Like, so I'm 24, right? I started school a little bit late because of this COVID bullshit many years ago. Maybe some of you as well. And I've been off and on for the last few years. I mean, I worked normally 80 hours the last 2 years, which is killing me. So I had to quit my one job, and I'm back now just doing 40 hours, and I'm going back to school fully. And I went to school last year fully. I don't even know how I did it. 60 to 80 hours a week. I obtained honors. Don't know how the fuck I did that. It's just, dude, life in 2026 sucks. Like, my friends and I talk about this all the time now, and it's just like I'm sitting there working my ass off trying to get school done. I just got done from community college, and let me tell you something. It is not fun at all going to a university now. And all this bullshit requisites, too. Like, this is my main problem about college right now. There's too many bullshit classes, right? They're saying I have to take another French class or two more. And then you gotta take this bullshit woke diversity class, which I'm tired of being honest here. And this is what my channel is gonna be about anyway. I just want to talk about life and such. I mean, I'll probably get into politics, believe it or not, on this channel. I don't even really want to, but it's just, it's everywhere nowadays. You can't escape it. Everything you turn on, the TV, the video game, whatever, TikTok, Instagram, whatever you use, YouTube, it's always like one of the first things out there. And it's like nowadays, it's like I just been sick of it. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big history guy. I love like all that stuff. That's what I'm going to school for. And it's just like, dear Lord, there's like no point anymore of being honest with you. Like, you go to school, you have these assholes like professors, honest to God. It's just like I'm not gonna lie, I went to this community college, right, for 2 years off and on, just trying to figure my life out. I had to wait a few years after high school. I graduated in 2020. I'm one of those. And the worst part was, to get into college, you had to have the vaccine. I didn't get that shit. I'm not retarded. I was like, I'm not taking it. I don't give a fuck. So I had to wait 2 years just to go into college, believe it or not, so they could say, okay, you don't need it to go in. So go there, everything's fine, right? My first year there, or like my first semester, you have to take like your gen ed classes or whatever. And I had to take, I think it was college to career or something class. And I had this teacher going off every day. I'm not even kidding. Donald Trump ran. I'm like, dude, it's 2022. He's been out of office for 2 years now, and she wouldn't shut up about him. And, I had a few questions with her and stuff like that. And I'm like, you shouldn't be going off about this. Like, I was like, look, I'm 21 at the time. I was like, you can't be going off to the kids like this. I was like, there's a problem with that. And then my next professor after that class had English then, and she was going off every day about Trump too, the guns in this country, and I guess you would say the pride shit, which I don't have time for. I grew up, like, honest to God, back in the early 2000s, right, where we would say, like, faggot and shit. And this is the problem nowadays. You get canceled for saying that word. Nobody wants to lose their job, which I totally understand, but it's a word at the end of the day. It's just, I don't care anymore. And this is, like, as me, I've been doing this for many years. I don't care anymore. Like, people are fed up. We're sick of it. You can't do anything. You can barely get anything nowadays. You can't afford rent. You're stuck with your parents. It's just like, when does this all end? And it's one after another, right? Sure, we can blame a lot of things. Don't get me wrong, with the economy and such, but like, I want to stick on the school thing for a second. I'm like, why do I have to take a diversity class? Like, I was giving him looks like on the Zoom thing because I'm a little late with my signups right now, and I'm like really debating to even go back to school or not. I'm like, do I just get a second job for a few more years? And I mean, honestly, God, I just wanted to teach high school history. Like, I'm really into that. And I mean, besides like my interest in politics and such like that in the world today, but it's just like, dear Lord, when does all this end? It's nonstop. Like, anywhere you go, it's down your throat. Like, the last, like from what I remember, if you guys want to talk about this, the last like 10, 12 years, I would say during like the middle of Obama's second term, everything was PC. Like, political correctness was out. I remember, like, this is crazy actually. So this is back in 2016. Like, a lot of us, like, during middle school, I was going into high school, right? 2015, 2016. And, we would joke around a lot and say a lot of crazy things to each other. Like, we go to high school, different ball game. Everyone's scared to say stuff. I'm still acting like it's 2005, and I'm only an '01 kid. I'm saying crazy stuff to like a lot of people, and they're like, "You can't say that." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Since when?" Like what I said earlier, like you can't say certain words anymore. You can't say retard and stuff like that. I was like, "What?" I was like, "I say retarded all the time," and I think we're at this point now where people are finally starting to like inch back out there, but they're scared they're gonna lose their job and such. Which, don't get me wrong, I understand. I mean, I worked 2 jobs for the last like 3 years of my life, and that's why I got out of the second job. It's like I hurt 6 times in 3 months. I was overworking myself, hitting the gym too much, um, which is kind of crazy to me. It's just like 2026. That's another thing with the dating culture. Like, I'm gonna start doing a lot of different things on this. Like, it sucks. I dated this girl for 2.5 years. She was totally fine. She had her ups and downs. Don't get me wrong, but her friends ruined our relationship. It's always the single feminist friends too. The feminist people in this. That's another problem. That's the reason why I don't even feel like dating anymore. A lot of us just don't want to date, and I can understand that. I mean, a lot of my friends as well. They either have the same girlfriend they keep trying to keep, or they just have like the worst thing ever. Like, and what I mean by that is they'll break up and go sleep around, and they'll get back with each other. It's like, that's disgusting. I don't want to live like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I think that's the reason why I've kind of turned like back to Catholicism, thank God. And because I had like a little bit of rough patches over last year, getting over my breakup, but it was like it brought me back to God, which is awesome. And I truly love him. Don't get me wrong; he's in my life every day. It's just, we have to kind of bring that back, man. Like, I went to public school, right? And when I was going there, it's just, and I went to a Catholic high school for 1 year, and I don't really recommend it, if being honest, man. I just don't think it's really worth it. On topic for a second, I had to like cut that out for a second. And the Catholic high school I went to, right? Don't get me wrong, the teachers were the best I ever had compared to public, right? And I went there for 1 year, and I'm just like, the kids were horrendous, man. Drinking, drugs. Don't get me wrong. I live outside of the city, right? And it's the suburbs. And that was probably one of the reasons. But these kids, they didn't care about school or nothing. They just care about, getting lit, fucking around. It's like, dude, you're like 15, 16. And that, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I was never that way for me personally. I'm not an incel or anything. It's just, I'm pretty like an introvert. I'm a loner. I prefer to be alone. But it's just like, what is going on? I thought, and then I couldn't really afford it, being honest, too. It was really expensive back then. This is back in 2016. I went back to the public high school, and I'll say that was a lot better. I'll say that. I mean, I had a lot of better teachers, I would say. I'm sorry. And don't get me wrong, those teachers actually changed my life. I had one good teacher, like, I'll never forget, like, the Catholic high school. He, like him and I would just talk at history all the time. It was pretty cool. And I remember the one day, believe it or not, like, I know I'm, like, talking all over the place with this video, but he and I were just having conversations and such. And I remember the one day in class, like, he was so fed up with the class because nobody knew the answers and shit. And he kept calling on me. I'm like, dude, stop calling on me. Like, we were going over, like, the Russian Revolution and stuff like that. I think we were doing, like, World War II. This is after World War II, actually. I'm sorry, before World War II. I can't even think. So we're doing, like, during World War I, we're going over that. We were, like, bouncing around for European history. And we were, like, into the Russian Revolution. He's like, we're going to, like, build up until, like, Germany after this. So that was a little bit more exciting for me because I kind of, like that era of history. I like that, right after World War I. It's very interesting how things turned. But to get back on topic for a second, it's just, life in 2026 is hard, man. Everyone out here is working like 2 jobs. They can't afford kids. No one's having a house. And then you have all these women around sleeping around, being disgusting. I'll get a little bit of brief thing with my breakup, for example. Like, this is what happened. Like, my ex-girlfriend and I were perfectly fine. We had our ups and downs and such. A lot of people just don't like me, being honest, because like how I talk and I would say my conservative values, I'll say more so. And that's a problem with people nowadays. Like, don't get me wrong, I should have done this. Now, she was moderate, right? She had a little bit more right leanings than her parents are very hardcore liberal. This is what I'm saying. Don't date liberal if you're conservative. I'm going to make a video on that probably eventually. But going back on top for a quick second, it's true. It's like, if you, honest to God, if you're a conservative guy, you just can't date a liberal woman. You just can't. Now, the girl I was dating, right, she was like more so on the right with some of the things, a little bit on the left with a few things. Not much. And towards the end of our relationship, I think this is like one of the reasons why, like, her parents all the time, I even had the text messages, this crazy, she sent them to me. Her parents were trying to let her break up with me after the first year, saying, like, she was adopted, right? Don't get me wrong. But they were trying to, like, they had money. I didn't. I grew up piss poor, being honest. I'm not the richest guy, right? And they were trying to set her up with her cousin and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? And this is the problem. This is why I can't stand, like, it's not a left versus right thing, if being honest, though, too. A lot of these liberal people are just fucking strange. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of, like, strange, right-wing people as well. And it's just like, what is going on in this world, man? I don't understand it, truly. I'm just sitting here, I'm trying to get things done right. I'm working my ass off. And then the craziest thing is, she meets this one girl. And they become friends as a work friend. And they're friends for like 4 or 5 months. I'm working 6 days a week, so I'm seeing her less, right? This is when I started working, 60 to 70 hours a week, sometimes 80. And they had like these conversations. Like she was a different person every time I would see her. The vibe was off, and like towards the end, the last 2 months of a relationship, she was just very strange. And I was telling her, I'm like, yo, I'm like, what is like? She wouldn't stop talking about her friend all the time, who's married, right? Who hates her husband, by the way. She's friends with this girl who hates her husband, hates her parents, and I'm like, why do you want to be with friends with somebody like this? I'm like, she literally hates her parents, hates her husband. Like she talks shit about her husband every day. I'm like, the guy didn't even seem that bad, by the way, and it was all over nothing. Like I remember the one time because like she's from a different country, like her background, and I was asking her about it, and she was like, "I'm not gonna listen to a cis white male ask me questions." I'm like, "This is the problem," and this is the problem. She was a feminist too, by the way, and then she slowly indoctrinated my ex girlfriend. It kept building up and up and up, and I remember like the week before our breakup, she just ghosted me. I'm like, "What is going on?" And like I remember I was texting her and everything like that every day for a few days, nothing. So this is after work one night. I was like, "All right, I'm just gonna figure this out." I drive right off to her house. All of her friends are in the driveway. I'm like, I'm not going to bother with this. I was like, I know something's coming. And then I was like, a few hours later, she texted me, we need to talk tomorrow, this, that, and the other thing. Pretty bad, like, thing. We had it off and on for a whole week. And every time, like, we were going back and forth trying to save, save the relationship in a way, every time it would get to that question again, she always kept bringing up the friend. My friend says this, my friend says that. They said you don't make enough money. And then she was trying to turn, like, her parents were also trying to encourage the breakup too, which I was just like shocked because they didn't like my conservative values. They said I'm racist, homophobic. I'm like, first off, your daughter's like a different race. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You people are white. They're white people, of course. It's always the white liberals, man. They're the white knights. That's the problem. This is my biggest problem. I can't stand white liberals, right? I grew up around in a very black area. No problem with black people. They're fun, right? But this girl's adopted from a different country. The white people did it in their mid to late 40s, and they're calling me racist, homophobic, and shit like that. It's like, dude, what? They call me racist because I wanted the borders closed. I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, I don't see how that's a big question. They thought guns were banned. They thought tasers were banned. It's like, where are we getting at? And they didn't like my thing on that. They don't like my views on abortion. I just don't think it's right. Sorry. I'm not sorry for that. I'm going to be honest. Like, this is my opinion. Why is it a big thing nowadays? You can't even have a conversation with people like this anymore. And I used to have a conversation with this one dude at my work, right? And he was a gay liberal guy, right? I got no problem talking to anybody. So we would go back and forth sometimes. I remember this one time we were talking like back and forth for 2 hours. He'd come, we're like back and forth. We're working, putting stuff out. And I'll never forget this. He wouldn't drop the abortion stuff. I'm like, all right. I'm like, dude, let me ask you a question personally. He's like, all right. I was like, here it is. I was like, there's a woman who's pregnant, right? He's like, okay. I was like, she's 3 months pregnant. He's like, okay. I was like, you know how most people get abortions at 3 months? He's like, or I think that's what it is. I could be wrong here. And he's like, yeah, okay. He's like, all right. There's a woman who's snorting cocaine, taking meth and all this other stuff. And I was like, she's deliberately killing the baby, right? He's like, well, yeah, obviously. He's like, she's literally taking drugs and stuff. He's like, those drugs can kill you. I'm like, right. So let's say she keeps taking that, she overdoses or whatever. Did she kill the baby? He's like, well, yeah. He's like, that's obvious. I'm like, okay, so what's an abortion do then? Doesn't know what to say. I'm like, it's the same thing. I'm like, you're literally stopping a life from entering this world. And this is why I can't stand hookup culture. I don't like the Plan Bs. I don't like any of that shit. I mean, it's just, and this is the problem too, because I've had many conversations with people. And they're like, oh, you need to have fun, you need to do all this shit. It's just like, where are we? I don't know if I grew up with a certain set of values or something. I just never liked that stuff growing up. I mean, and this is the thing I noticed too. I don't think a lot of people are meant for breakups, if that makes sense. I mean, maybe not being with a certain person, I agree. Like, if we go back to, like, the 1500s, now, look, I know we're in 2026, right? But a lot of things were arranged, or you married, or even in the 1950s, you married your high school sweetheart, everything was fine. And it's like, the more weight and the more experience these girls have, the worse they're going to be. I've never met any girl who, honest to God, is happy being a feminist or a liberal, honest to God. All the ones I've met that I went to school with or I've worked with who were, like, conservative, happy as hell. And that's the problem with this world. And I know I'm talking about different, like, topics, but I'm talking about, like, just life in 2026, but this is the problem now. Like, I had a lot of money in debt. I'll be honest about this for a second. I owed about $17,000 a few years ago, I think. It was around $18,000 range. And that's why I started to get the second job. Paid it all off. And this is why I'm talking about, like, the women now. It's just this, they suck, being honest. Like, my one friend and I who are, like, we're single, right? And we were talking about this. I'm like, dude, this shit sucks. I'm like, there's no point even dating. I'm like, a lot of these women are whores. It's just like, I don't want a slut. It's just, it's gross to me. And he was even saying that too. He's like, yeah, he's like, I just hope to find the one day. I was like, look, I want kids and family and everything. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, I'd rather be alone and deal with this shit. And I'm not being disrespectful when I say this, but it's like sometimes women are just annoying. And I'm not, this is not, look, I love women. I'm not gay or anything. It's just the way things are now. It's a headache. You have to make money. It's like, which don't get me wrong, you should be making money. You should be out, go out there producing and doing the best you can. That's why I was working 80 hours a week. I was putting money in like 20 different things. Like, I know I'm not great with stocks and like crypto and all that, but I made not a great amount of money, but I made a decent amount of money from it. And it's just like, they want a millionaire. They want someone who's 6'5", and it's annoying. Don't get me wrong, I'm 6'3", right? I'm not the greatest looking guy. And even that's what my ex, like, her friends would say, I was ugly and stuff like that. I'm like, sure, I don't have the best teeth, I have Invisalign or whatever. I have some acne scars on my face and such. But it's like we just have so much hate and negativity for everything in this world. Anything you turn on, don't get me wrong, negativity gets more clicks. And I understand that. And I think that's just something I'm going to do on this channel, because I think I'm going to keep uploading. I'll try, once a week or something, I'll do it. And it's just like, I'm kind of fed up, being honest. I never thought I was going to do a YouTube channel until now. And it's just, like, I thought about it. I had some things about it. Like, I was thinking about it. But, like, the main problem, the reason why I was doing it is just because, like, what happened today with the college thing. I'm like, I shouldn't have to take a diversity class. I'm not teaching French. What do I need it for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can understand if I was doing something, but, like, look, I just want to be a high school history teacher. Just want to teach history, go on about my day, and at this point, I'm about to just get into politics at this point. I don't even want to become a political YouTube channel, if being honest with you. It's just, I can't stand this shit anymore. The pronoun bullshit, like, you have mental health problems, clearly. And I don't hate you for it, but you have a mental health problem. You have he, him, his, or whatever, zer, or whatever mental health problem you have. I'm talking about, like, you just all my friends and such. And we make fun of this stuff all the time, don't get me wrong. We're setting, like we're pretty fun, my friends and I would say. But, I don't know, let me know your thoughts on the, your opinions down below in the comments. It's just, how much longer do we have to take this, right? And I'm thinking about now, like, what am I even going to do? I'm thinking about, like, do I want to go back to school at this point? I mean, I always liked school growing up. I mean, it's just a headache the last few years, I would say. I mean, I've had a class, like, over the summer, I was taking summer classes. I was talking about my communist teacher a little bit earlier in the video. And he gave me a 74 because he just didn't like my opinions, man. And this guy was, like, encouraging, like, drug use in the classroom. Like, he was talking about, like, how he does drugs and stuff like that. And it was just weird to me. Like, how he was, like, snorting cocaine or something at, like, he goes to these, like, film festivals. He loves movies and such. But dude just wouldn't shut up about the woke stuff, man. I just don't have time for that shit and queer theory and all that weird shit. Don't have time for it. I'm too old. Nobody cares for it personally. A lot of people in this world are just like NPCs, I feel like, anyway. It's just like, I'm not saying I'm a high IQ person or anything, but, I mean, you sit down and have a conversation with someone, and, you talk about this history or whatever with people, or, what's going on in the world, and it's like, lights, like, you know what I'm saying? Lights are on, nobody's home. I mean, it's like, I'm not even kidding when I say that. A lot of these people are just so miserable nowadays. It's probably the stuff in the drinks, too, let's be honest. I mean, like with MK Ultra, supposedly that's a thing. I don't even know, like with MK Ultra, they're saying like Coke and Pepsi signed a thing putting additives into the sodas. I don't even know if that's true. I saw that the other day, but I don't know. I think I might end the video here. Let me know your thoughts and opinion down below. It's just, you can't afford a car. It's like the loans are out the wazoo if you have student loans. I mean, what are you supposed to do in this life? I mean, you can't really have fun anymore. There's cameras everywhere. I mean, God forbid you go speed on the highway or something. I'm not saying like crash your car or something. I mean, you have to have a BMW for a woman to date you or something. You have to have a Lambo or whatever. And that's the problem, too, nowadays. Like, this is like a video I've seen, I believe on Instagram the other day. I was looking. I don't really go on there as much more than 10, 15 minutes at a time. I cut it off. I get so bored. And if we do go back to early 2000s, right, a lot of the celebrities, is now we have these influencers, which I can't stand. And pretty much, if you go back, right, everyone back then in the early 2000s and such, 90s, were wearing or driving attainable items. They had a GMC Yukon. They had, Tommy Hilfiger on. Stuff like that, right? Nikes or whatever. Everyone still wears that. But it's like, to me, looking back at this, it's like you can barely obtain... I mean, did you see a price on a GMC Yukon? I'm not saying I want to drive a General Motors shit. But, like, it's insane. It's like 70, 80,000, 120 plus. I mean, it's like Cadillac, which I understand it's all owned by General Motors, but it's like nothing's really obtainable anymore. Your car sucks. Whatever car you get nowadays, it's trash. It's not good. I mean, what are you gonna do? Like the Toyota you can get, but they're all like CVTs and shit. Like I'm not getting into cars now. I'm gonna end it here. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. All right, peace.